you better get your ratchet straps out and tie them nips down, because we are about to go on a wild ride. This is going to be an F5 Chimps run today for you guys. We are going to do our absolute best to go late game in Chimps. Now, before you get too far, you might have said, well, Chris, I've seen a video like this before. You've not only seen this video before, you've seen this video twice before. I've gone on high Chimps runs, and I've always broke my previous record. And I think we're about to do it again. We're about to try for the highest ever Chimps run ever experienced in the history of the past few years of BTD6. Now, I say that because we have to talk a little bit about what the record is for BTD6 in Chimps. I've looked quite a few places, and I have not found anybody who has beaten round 227 in the past few years. A long time ago, though, there was an amazing, weirdly way to play the game, because free play wasn't that difficult. You didn't ramp up that much in late game free play, so you were able to get really far on Chimps runs. In fact, you were able to get to 300, 400 plus on Chimps back in the day. But we're not living back in the day, we're living in the present. And we got to talk about the present right now. Before we get too far, if you guys want to do the usual and like and subscribe, that'd be cool. But if you really want to help me out, or help any creator out, click the settings icon, click the creator support icon, and type in SJB or your favorite creator's code. Thank you guys so much, and enjoy. Can we beat round 227? Clearly, we can't beat round 131, so we've got some issues. So I had to restart, and when I restarted, I want to be straight with you guys. This is no longer a true Chimps run. So if that breaks this record whatsoever, I just want to be straightforward with that. I am playing a current Chimps run. Alright, I still did the normal $650, 100% everything, but the only thing that I changed is I allowed myself continues. Alright, because it seems like, to me, there's something going on with random chance with all of my strategies that causes me to lose way earlier than I probably should. But that being said, I just want to throw that out there and be honest with you guys and let you know that this is not a true Chimps game. So if that affects people's records and things like that, just wipe me off the board right now. Alright, but if we want to show off the true experience, the true record, the true highest round, we have to use everything in our bag, everything available to us to come together and try to make this happen. So, here's round 150, and then we jump to 160. Alright, so let's talk about the strategy really quickly. I've got something going on here that I've never done before in any of my runs. Alright, I've always done a Druid Wrath and a Superstorm. That's kind of like the norm. But now I've got something else on my team here. You might be able to see it underneath the round number. I've got an Overclock, or an Overdrive, or whatever the heck it's called, the 5th tier Engineer. So now I have the ability, and I've got the time to make this happen, to overclock pretty much all of my towers, up to 10 times overclock. Now this does mean that this run is going to include me sitting here pretty much the entire time, doing weird stuff and pressing buttons and making it all happen, but hopefully the end will be worth it. The end will justify the means here to make this happen. To get to round 161, it actually doesn't take that much time. I mean, we're only about an hour deep in our run so far, and things are going reasonably smooth. I mean, nothing too crazy is going on here. Everything's getting popped pretty easily. I feel comfortable going pretty decently far late game, but we have to see how far. All right, here we are on round 170, and currently things are going decently well. I mean, there's definitely a pretty big issue with us not being able to pop the Bloons fast enough. I mean, each round is lasting like 5 minutes, but not because it actually needs to last 5 minutes, but because the Superstorm just sends it all backwards and keeps it away from all of my damage, which is my Avatar, Wrath, and all of my avatars, which sucks. But I've got my ninjas started here, and I think once we get a Master Bomber with all of our Shinobis going and everything, life will be a lot better. So currently, what we're doing is we've got a double Village, Perma-Brew, Helipilot combo, and what we're doing is we're building a ninja up to 130, not 230, but 130. We're alchemizing it with the Perma-Brew in between these two villages, getting them for super duper cheap, and then we're moving it with the Helipilot into place. So that's allowing us to like literally perfectly place everything and get them super duper on the cheap, which is extra especially cool if I do say so myself. And again, things are going pretty good. The only thing that's really killing us here is kind of the bad Bloons. And we move on to round 180. Whoa, baby. All right, things are getting a little bit more scary right now. Bad Bloons are actually starting to like sneakish through a little bit, but I don't have the good towers yet. And I'm a little confused on what I want to go for next because my ninjas are probably the best thing for me to get to just kind of spam like 20 of these guys and actually get 20 Shinobis kind of all over the place. But I'm thinking that I might need to do something else as far as popping power is concerned. I think I need to go for some other towers that are going to support Azili. Because right now, ninjas are going to do a lot of damage against Oh My Gods and other crap, but they're not fantastic against the bad balloons. They're only kind of okay against the bad balloons. The question is, can we actually make all this actually happen the way I want it to? I don't know. All right, this is my current record on Chimps mode. Round 191. I know we're jumping quick here, guys, but this is going to be a crazy ride. We're trying to go big, and we're trying to go deep. So round 191 is my current record for Chimps mode. And check this out. It's actually not going that bad. Believe it or not, it's not going so bad. We've got $42,000 saved up. So what do we build next? Well, that is the question. We've got to talk about that really quickly. So far my strategy has revolved around druids and ninjas, and kind of just buffing them up a little bit. Perma-brew a little bit, obviously that's like sort of important, but other than that, how do I get more popping power? Well, there's one other tower that I normally would get. I would say this is what I need to force to get as fast as I possibly can. Homeland Defense. It increases popping power, damage, and attack speed of everything on the screen. How can you beat it? Well, that's the question. What are we doing the most damage with? Well, against bad balloons, it's Azili's ability. So we're trying to figure out, and I have to throw this out there really quickly. I've got two shoutouts really quick. Shout out to Chad Thundercock. Thank you, my friend, for the wonderful, ultra mega delicious thingamajig. I'll try to get some more info to you pretty soon, but just want to throw that out there really quick. And also to Marble Guy, who was telling me a couple things he did with his strategies that allowed me to get to this point in my game where I'm about to break my current world record, 191. So thank you to both of you guys. Obviously appreciate you guys a lot. Appreciate a lot of the people out there that work with me and do all these things for me. And all of you guys. I mean, just like even just commenting or liking the video, like I really do appreciate you guys. So I just want to throw that out there real quick. Anyways, the idea is maybe we don't go for Homeland Defense, but maybe we use things that are going to make Azili's ability happen quicker. And of course, the number one thing on that list is to get an Energizer. Reduces ability cooldowns by 20%. That is a big deal. So that's going to allow us to easily take down some more rounds, and we are now about to break round 200! And check this out, Azili's ability is coming back 20% faster. Might not seem like a big deal, but it is a big deal. It is a lot of extra bad popping power. So much bad popping power extra that I actually feel very, very comfortable in defending for a decent amount of time longer, as long as round 200 isn't too crazy. Because round 200 is 2 reinforced bads, and I just don't know if we can handle that, even with Azili's abilities and everything perfectly timed. Now you notice that the Energizer is here, but there's also another tower all the way in the top right corner of this screen, the Sniper. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to get things that I think most people are used to support getting extra damage against the bad balloon. Like ice, glue, sniper. Those are the three main peeps, basically, to actually give you extra damage. There's really not that many other things that can give you extra damage in the game. There's Homeland Defense, there's Sniper, Ice, Glue, and I can't think of anything else like off the top of my head that's like specifically going to give you extra damage just automatically. So to be honest, that kind of limits us in a lot of ways. There's really only a couple things that we can build to give ourselves extra Azili damage, but of course, Chimps, you don't have that much money, so getting those 3 things in a game is pretty difficult to do. In fact, so difficult that we're struggling to actually make any of them happen. But luckily, we already got Sniper and the sub, which I'll admit, I didn't think was going to be that big of a deal, but it ended up being one of the best towers in the entire game, and I'm actually glad that I went for the sub before I went for anything else here. All right, round 200. Let's see, how are we going to do against this bad here? It is a reinforced bad, which means double the health of previous ones. And holy crap, we sabo the second bad too. And we get Azili's ability. And no way, this isn't even like a close battle here. Round 200 actually goes down. Easy? Easy? Are you kidding me? That was not bad at all, guys. That was about halfway through the map, and maybe even less than that, to take down round 200. I mean, if that doesn't give me confidence, I don't know what does. But here we go. We've got something kind of crazy going on here. We've got a bunch of DDTs, oh my gods, and everything kind of piling up over here. We're actually getting overwhelmed. Our Superstorm is getting overwhelmed. A 10 times overclocked Perma-brewed Superstorm is getting overwhelmed. That's kind of absurd. But it looks like around 201. It's It's getting a little scary here, but it looks like we probably will take it down. All right. Actually, whoa. Yeah, we got to do this. All right, there we go. We take it around 201. And then you got to just kind of deal with everything else that's kind of going on in here. So, the problem is, again, still Oh My Gods. Once you get down to popping bads, that doesn't take that long, but then the Oh My Gods and everything on the inside still take forever to pop. This is still around 201, and we're just like slowly dealing with it, man. It kind of sucks, but it just is what it is. As part of going late game, you just kind of have to deal with it, I guess. And life is actually going well. Or so I thought. Round 202 is not a good round for anybody. I do not like round 202. There's too many bads coming out, man. Why are there so many bads coming out here? Look at this ridiculousness. And we're actually having trouble with using Azili's ability in enough time to actually make anything happen here. I'm really, really happy, by the way, that Azili's ability jumps from bad to bad, because if it didn't, I think we'd automatically lose probably before round 200. Easy. Like, we'd have no chance of popping those things. Here we go. We've got 2 more bads rapid around here. Okay, we popped one of them. We got one last bad. Can we possibly take this puppy down? All right, come on, F5 Tornado Deliciousness. Make it happen. Oh, it's getting to the very back. Come on. Get it, please. Oh, my God. That was so close. Oh, crap, guys. We've got some major issues. Round 204 is pure and utter chaos. And there's a loss. All right, so we can lose. All right, I've had to work a lot on weird different strategies and micros and techniques and everything to actually make this all go down properly, but I can make things happen in most situations until round 214. We have really screwed the pooch. I've messed up in all it takes is one round, guys. One round to mess up, to screw something up, and you can be donezo. Normally, it's not that big of a deal if you say, you know what, I just get to replay the round. I am on Chimps right now. No big deal. I can make crap happen. But the problem is that I screwed up on the previous round. If you look at... whoa, this is actually pretty close. Come on, just kill it all, please. Come on, just kill it for me, please. Win! Die! All right. Well, here's the issue. Look at Azili's Moab Hex. It's about halfway on his cooldown. And you want to know the worst part about this cooldown? It was a mistake. It wasn't like I was trying to clean up the Oh My Gods with the BFPs quickly or something like that. I literally clicked it on accident while trying to overclock my ninjas. And then I didn't even notice in time before the next round popped up. And then, boop, now I'm stuck with it. Now I'm stuck on a very, very hard round without basically any help whatsoever. This is pretty terrible. I gotta be honest with you guys. I'm not enjoying this very much. Around 214. And I think we finally hit our limit. After trying this many times, it just does not seem like there's a direct good answer for round 214. And the worst part about all of this is that I screwed it up. And I know that I could beat this round if I had Azili's ability all the way up here. So I guess it's a little bit important to talk about how the Hex works. The Hex is going to jump to a reinforced Moab over a regular Moab. A reinforced bad over a regular bad. And that kind of sucks in some situations, but it's also kind of nice in some situations. It's kind of a mixed bag. But what it takes is some real skill or luck or something to make this all happen here. So what I did for you guys is, believe it or not, I played this a bunch, I sped this up for you, and we're going to watch the sped up version of me beating round 214. So this is, I don't even know exactly how fast this is. This has probably got to be close to 3,000% speed, something like that. So I don't even actually see what's going on because I'm not in the officially rendered version. And it doesn't really matter that much, but I hope that it looks at least decently okay for you guys. I thought this was going to be the end of my run. I was so upset with everything, and I gave it a bunch of tries, and eventually I came up with a really weird, sort of silly strategy that just eventually ended up working. I don't even know the exact details of how it ended up working. I just know that eventually it ended up working. And I was so happy that I finally got through with this. And the weirdest part about it is I actually did it by spending less money than my previous runs. It made almost no sense, but it just worked out, and I am going to be honest with you guys, very happy it happened. All right, so we're moving on to round 220. We're just about to break what I think is the world record on Chimps mode. If anybody else can find a better example of somebody beating Chimps mode this high in a recent run, please let me know. And again, it's got to be somewhat recent. Like, I mean, within the past, like, 6 months, maybe a year or so. Otherwise, I'm going to claim global dominance on Chimps. But we got 7 more rounds to go. 7 more rounds to go before we can even say anything about having the record. Can we make this happen? To this point, it's still one of those processes. Some of my gods take forever to take down, but I've got my setup good. I've got my regular druids and everything, but now I've got sniper, I've got glue, and I've got my ice tower, and I've got my energizer. I technically have everything that I thought that I would need to be good at Chimps mode. I don't know if that positioning is off for my ice tower. I don't know if maybe I should do some weird ice bridge to, like, put my ice tower somewhere next to my energizer or something like that. Like, maybe. That is the only thing that I could think of that would change this, possibly for the better. But what I did was I actually started overclocking my village to make sure that my village that was primary training and mentoring was in range of my ice tower, believe it or not, in the top corner there. And that was just cool and fun that I thought I had to show you guys off. I had to show it off to you guys. All right, here we go. We got 2 reinforced bads coming out, and this is what's happening these days, guys. Many reinforced bads coming out. I think the most I've seen so far is 2 or maybe 3. And this is where it gets weird, where the Moab Hex really does have to jump the right way, or else you just get totally screwed here. Round 221, though, gets taken down. Beautiful. Dang. So this is what I'm dealing with here, guys. All right, the good news is I had a little bit of money here, so we've been spending some of our money trying to get something set up over here. We've got some more Shinobi Ninjas, which I believe are some of the highest DPS towers per the money I've spent on them. Specifically, if I get 20 Shinobis around the other Shinobis, then I get more DPS per Shinobi. There's other ways that I could probably get more DPS, like spike factors and stuff, but I've run out of things that I can buff Azili and or anything else, really, effectively. So, we're stuck with just building ninjas in a fun, actually not in a fun way. But we do have only a call to arms here. We don't have homeland defense yet, which is really, really sad because I'd really like to have a homeland defense at this point. But I have to keep building ninjas just to survive here on these rounds. So I don't know if I'm ever going to get it, guys. I don't know if I'm ever going to get it. Around 226. Come on, baby. Come on, this is my best run yet. Please, take it down, and we do! Yes! We are on 231 now. 226 was the big problem for me. But we push on through there, and now, believe it or not, things are actually pretty smooth. I don't know what it was about 226 being specifically very, very difficult, but it just was difficult. And now we move on to 245. We currently have Homeland Defense activated and everything else, and now I started my Shinobi army. And with Homeland Defense and all these Shinobis, things are just freaking ridiculous, man. Believe it or not, though, even though it looks really, really, really ridiculous and looks really bad here, I actually am not having any issues at all in the late 230s and the early 240s. Things are actually going down. Once we get Homeland Defense, things have been, I don't want to say easy, but I still have to press buttons and do things every single round, and I still lose sometimes. But for the most part, compared to a lot of other rounds where I've specifically had to play them over and over again, like 10 times, 15 times just to beat them, this feels good. All right, this feels good. But where is the limit? 245, dude. That's just freaking insane. And if this isn't the world record for Chimps, I'm pretty much going to guarantee it's probably the world record for a no-temple Chimps and or the world record for a resort no-temple Chimps, at the very, very least. I think. I don't know. It's hard to figure out because, like, when you Google something, things don't just pop up automatically. You still have to kind of, like, look and dive deep into Reddit, into forums, into other places, and it still just isn't... It just doesn't work right. All right, guys. We are having some major, major issues here. 249. I think it's going to be the end. Just straight up. So far, I think I mentioned this before. I've only really seen 2, maybe 3 reinforced bads in a single round. And I think they jumped us up to 5. And that's just too big of a jump for me. In addition to the 5 reinforced bads, there's also other regular bads. And the problem is this is like the closest I've ever gotten so far, actually, and it still just doesn't look like it's going to be enough. I don't think I'm going to even get Azili's ability back in time. I'm sorry about my dog. She's a barker, man. She's a big, fat, crazy barker. But here you go. 3 or 4 bads are going to sneak through right there. Like, how do you even deal with that, dude? That's just insanity. I don't know if I can micro through that at all. So I gave it a few more tries. I don't think it's gonna be done. This is gonna be my last try, guys. Again, it sounds like a failure, but 249 is not a failure whatsoever. 250 would have been a really nice, even, cool number to end on or to get past, but 249 is gonna be the end here. So if you guys specifically want to press that like button, subscribe, and or use my Nexus code, that would be absolutely fantastic. I'd really, really appreciate that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. I believe this will be my last ever, probably, maybe not ever, but probably my last video for a long time, trying to get late game on Chimps. If I do anything, I'm going to try some sort of weird temple run or something like that, but right now I feel like I've got something that I don't know if I can best, and that's where I've got to end it. So, like I said, do all those things for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this wonderful video. It's been a long run. It took me about 8 hours to record this, and I just got to end it there. So thank you guys so much, and have a super duper delicious day.